Hi there, it's Katie Alder. I'm here to record a reformer workout that I taught in a group setting this morning. So it's a lot of glute focus and a lot of abdominal focus, but we all know that when we're using our glutes and our abs, a lot of other stabilizations have to happen. So I'd say it's definitely a full body workout, about 45 minutes today. What you need today is a reformer. I'm using a reformer tower combo, which is helpful for a couple of the first parts of the exercise for stabilization. If you don't have a tower combo, make sure you have maybe a pole or something you could hold on to for stabilizing. I'm also using a circle, like stretchy resistance band, a yoga block, and something to stand on. My reformer has a platform extender back here. I've also done this before with putting a box or something that raises me to the surface to make this work. Be creative, and let's get started. Okay, we're going to stand in the well facing your foot bar to start. To warm up our spine, we're just going to inhale, lift our arms, and exhale, round down, roll down, find the tops of the shoulder blocks with your hands. Find your feet a nice comfortable width apart. Inhale to prepare, and then exhale, pull the reformer to you. And exhale, resist back to neutral. We're going to inhale to prepare. Exhale, pull in. And then inhale to resist. You're welcome to bend your knees here and straighten as you round. You're welcome to keep them bent and then round your spine. The purpose of this warm-up is just to get your spine moving. So my arms stay completely straight, and I'm pulling up by rounding my spine. I'm going to add some extension. So as I go forward with my straight arms, my eye gaze is going to look out in front of me. I'm going to push down on those shoulder blocks to lift my upper body up and stick my tailbone out and then round it back in. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Next one we've got to hold. Good. So exhale large to hold. Inhale, let those shoulders go. And then exhale, it's little pulses. Pulse. And I'm not thinking about my arms here. I'm thinking about reaching my back of my spine up towards the ceiling and rounding my spine more. It's very internal. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Come on out of that. I like to take a little cat-cow, just leaning forward just to let my back go. My platform extender is right in front of me. I'm going to grab that and put it on my rails. So this is where you would find a box if you didn't have this same setup, or something that you could find about at the same height. Remembering also, in a lunge position, it challenges your body in different ways to have your back leg elevated and your front leg elevated, or vice versa. So don't be too hung up on the positioning of your foot. We're stepping onto the platform extender. I'm going to keep my left leg in front. My right leg steps back. I'm going to hook my right toe behind me onto the stretchy band. And then I'm going to make sure my feet are hip distance apart so I have some balance. I'm going to square off my hips. I'm going to bend down into a lunge with my left and my right knee, making sure my left knee stays behind my toes. I'm going to pull the reformer in and away. If I didn't say what spring we are starting on, it's one blue spring or a medium spring. Immediately, I start to feel my left glute start to work. I'm going to keep channeling that here. I like to change positioning with my hands and see what I get here. So sometimes just holding on slightly onto the sides of my tower or onto a bar or something for stability actually intensifies the tension I feel into my left glute instead of trying to hold my balance. Right here, I'm really able to focus on pushing my left foot fully into the ground and being able to move through this nice and slow. We are really wanting to get the eccentric motion and contraction of the muscle. So as I take my left leg behind me, I really want to take that nice and slow. So right here, it's just slow and steady wins the race. We're just moving through this, making sure we're keeping our breath. I'm feeling a little bit of hiking into my right hip. It's a little strategy my body likes to do, so I'm going to try and get rid of that here while I'm moving. Good. I'm feeling as I pull my right knee further in, I feel my left glute more. So make sure you're coming all the way in or finding those full range or fullest parts of tension in your own body. This next one, I'm going to bring it in, and then I'm going to slowly find about partway. From here, I'm going to hold. Take a few inhales and exhales and just hold. Good. And then from here, I'm going to pulse down. Good. I'm really standing onto my left foot here. Really trying to isolate my left glute. Shaking's really happening. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and all the way out of that. You should really feel your left glute working right here. So I'm giving a quick break. We're just going to go straight to the other side. Right foot on, left foot steps back behind. I had my left foot in the furthest away part of the stretchy band, so it's important to do the same thing on both sides. All right, I'm standing onto my right foot, bending into my right knee, and my left knee bends. And I'm going to head and go and start pulling in with my knee. Pulling in with my knee. So pretty quickly, I'm going to try and start to feel my right glute. I'm having to do a few different things here to make sure that my left quad isn't taking over. I have a pretty dysfunctional right side. So I'm having to really cue myself internally here. So you might have that on one side or another. So just pay attention to what's going on inside. If one way is easier or harder than the other. Good, really check in with your hips. As far as hiking or rotating, we're really wanting to make sure we're not tucking our hips as we're moving out and in here. Good. I'm trying to slow down the return. Light grip on my fingertips. Good. We've got 3 more of these, and then we'll take our hold. So really moving through these with a lot of intention, focus, drop my shoulders down, hold, pull in all the way. Push into that right foot, come out part way, and hold. Lift your eye gaze, lift your chest, let your shoulders drop in, and then little pulses down, down. These are slow. These are pushing into your right foot, feeling your right glute engage. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let that carriage close. Great work. Okay. I'm going to take my shoulder blocks off and my band. That's the only reason we needed the band for this workout. So just set it aside and shoulder blocks will just come off. I'm going to have my knees down on the reformer, there's all these plastic pieces from where the shoulder blocks plug in. So if that bothers your knee, just slip a towel or a grippy mat underneath it. So the wider you're able, I'm going to come onto my knees on my platform extender, same spring. The wider you go, the harder this is going to be. So take a few and kind of make your adjustments. I have done this before, keeping my shoulder blocks in. If your shoulder blocks don't come out, just straddle onto the one side of your shoulder blocks and pull them up and in. Now again, the eccentric resistance is on the way out here. So you're pulling up and in, going against the spring, and then resisting out, out, out. Focusing on keeping a long line in your spine, trying to not let your hip flexors shorten as you come forward. Good. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Lots of times our glutes like to take over here, so make sure you're starting with your pelvic floor, inner thighs. Glutes help at the top. Good. Next time we're here, we're going to hold. So we'll hold out. Hold, hold, hold. Trying to squeeze in. I have got the shakes like crazy. We're going to open 2 inches, hold. Open 2 more inches, hold. Now we're going to stay here. We're going to hinge at our hips and then hinge back up. So it's an isometric hold as we lower down and up. Lowering down, hinging at our hips, and lifting up. My inner thighs are talking to me. I'm shaking and wobbling. Good. 3, 2, last one, come up, hold, pull it all the way in, open 2 inches, hold, open 2 more inches, hold, open 2 more inches, hold, open 2 more inches, hold, and open all the way. Even though I don't really want to right this second, we're going to go ahead and do the other side so we can get rid of the platform extender. So flip around. Pretty easy on the second side because you don't have to maneuver as much. So as soon as you get situated, just go right into it. Good, pulling. I lost it there. Felt myself just giving out. I'm just going to readjust and pull back in. So experiment with your breath here. I sometimes like to add both breath patterns. So I'm going to exhale and then inhale to resist. Exhale. You can hear the quiver in my voice. And exhale. Okay, we're going to come in, hold, out 2 inches, hold, out 2 inches, hold. Now we've got our hinges. I have my hands on my hips so I can actually feel my hips go back and then pull my hips come up, flatten at the top. Hips come back, flatten at the top. 3 more. Hips go back, flatten and squeeze at the top. Hips go back, flatten and squeeze at the top. 1 more. And at the top, pull it all the way and squeeze. Out 1 inch and hold. 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 We're slowly making our way to the stopper. So go all the way nice and slow. And enough there. Okay, platform extender comes off. Shoulder blocks are going to stay off while we're here as well. I'll start facing you, lying on my left hip. I'm going to take the strap that's behind me. So if I were lying on my back, it'd be my right strap. My left arm is going to come onto my reformer. Knees will stack on top of each other, hips stacked. My right arm, same spring, right arm is coming up to the ceiling. I'm going to slightly pull into that strap to feel my hand right on top of my shoulder. My left elbow forearm is pressing down into the mat. My left shoulder blade is secure, strong, stable, and I am pulling my left shoulder away from my ear. I'm going to press my hand down. Forgot to mention this, that when you press down, your hand is going to come to the front of you. Not quite down to your knee, but where your knee would be if you lifted it up, because that's a little hint. We're going to start lifting our knees up momentarily. But I want you to feel first both scapulas really engaged. As I said at the beginning of class, you can't really think you're going to have a glutes and ab class without knowing it's full body. So scapula is super stable here. I'm going to move into my obliques. So now I'm going to lift my knees, rotate my upper torso towards my knees, and lower it back down. Lift and press, rotate. So as much as I'm pressing with my hand, I'm also pulling up and squeezing with my knees. Press, twist, hold. You can extend your legs as an option. So you'd come up, you're in a teaser on your hip. So twist on hip, teaser. Good. We're going to do 2 more like this and then add on a little hold. 1 more. Big exhale. Good. We'll hold. Come up, lower, and lift either your bottom leg or both legs. Your choice. I want you to lift your arm up just a little bit higher and try this. 3, 2, and 1. Bring those knees down. Very nice. Swing your feet to the front edge of your, the side edge of your carriage. Feet go on the floor. We're going to move our booty to the front edge of the mat and roll on down. If you tend to have back issues or want a little bit less work for your abs, you would scoot your tush towards the front edge. More work is going to be more of your upper abdominals and upper spine off of the mat. Legs come to tabletop. Right hand comes behind your head. Left hand in the rope. Same spring. You're going to punch across your body and return. Punch across your body, return. So my eyes are following my left hand. I'm thinking about rolling my ribs on the mat and then rolling them back in sequential order. My legs don't move. Good. Twist. And twist. This next one, we'll switch. So we'll come back. My left hand stays at my sternum. I still have tension on my spring. Right hand grabs the rope. Left hand comes behind my head. And now I'm going to keep my chest square, looking up at the ceiling, and I'm trying to extend my right arm fully. I'm pressing my waistband into the mat, which is engaging my stomach more. Good. Now, I'll add rotation. I'll rotate to the right, eyes turn to the right, rotate to the left. Rotate to the right, and return. Good. Trying to get the full swivel of my rib cage. Good, last 2. Good, I'm gonna hold that carriage right where it is, holding onto my strap. I'm gonna toe tap and toe tap. Toe tap and toe tap. Toe tap, toe tap. 3 more. 2. Last set. Good. And slowly, carefully lower those legs down and let your head and upper back hang off the edge of the reformer. Make sure when you're coming up, the first thing you do is nod your chin to your chest just to protect your neck in that roll up. Okay, so we've got the other side of that whole series. So my back will be facing you. The strap, if I was lying on my back, it'd be my left strap, but I'm holding it into my right. I'm holding it onto my left hand when I'm on my side. So my right hand is underneath me. Left arm with the left strap, hips stacked, comes up above me, and I press the carriage open slightly so I can feel the tension in the rope. I'm going to push down into my forearm, elbow, pull my shoulder down, scapula set. I'm going to make sure all of that is happening before I start to move any limbs. And once I feel secure in this, essentially a side plank, then I will start to move my arm. I move my arm from all of those places that are stabilizing me. I'm not just pressing my arm. As I exhale, I feel my left and right shoulder blade engage, my left and right oblique engage, and really everything in between. Good. Eye focuses on that spot you bring your hand to. We're getting ready to lift our knees, so we're going to pull our knees up and return. So think oblique crunch. So not only am I pulling my hand down, I'm rotating my torso towards my knees. And as I do that, I almost can look over my shoulder. I can see you in the video here. So really try and find a way to get that crunch going. One more here, and then we'll add on with your extended legs. If you're doing this and you did not do the straight legs on the other side, just go ahead and do whatever you did on the other side. If you attempted the straight legs, but you're feeling a little bit tired, I want you to be even on your 2 sides. So try and do the same thing you did on the other side. And if you didn't do it on either side, that's no problem. We all have our working level. And some days, for me, it is a challenge. All right, here we are. We have our hold. We've got our lifts and our lowers of our legs coming from not just our hip flexors, but from our low abdominals, from our obliques. Lift that hand up just a little higher. You've got 5, 4, you can hold, and 3, 2, and 1. Woo! Okay, unfortunately, we still have that next ab series. So your feet come off the edge. You'll roll yourself down. You're holding on to the same strap you just had. We're going to keep the strap on our right hand to start. And you're going to just punch across your body. Return only to your sternum. You're rotating. Your eyes will follow your fist. There's an upper abdominal curl involved. So I'm looking slightly at my inner thighs when I return to the center because my eye gaze is downward because my upper thoracic, is curled. If you just saw what happened, I rolled kind of over because I wasn't holding my hips strong. My knees went to rotate. Good. One. Last one. Hold. Change hands. We'll pull across our body, keeping our chest square for these first few. Trying to fully extend your left arm. Seeing how much your abdominals can help you fully extend that arm and how much your arm can help your abdominals stay strong. We're going to rotate both ways, to the right and to the left, to the right, to the left, to the right, and to the left. Good. You've got 2 more sets here. Really letting your spine roll. Legs stay stable. Last set. Very nice. Hold here. Toe taps down towards the floor. If you're on a machine that is not as low to the ground as mine, you can still go for the floor, or you go as far as you can keep the connection to your low abdominals instead of just arching your back to lower your legs down. You've got 2 more sets. Good. And 1 more set. Very nice. And carefully lower those legs down and let your upper back drape over the edge of the carriage, nodding your chin to come back up. Okay, next set of legs is a heavy spring for your legs. I am going to go with a red and a blue. So that's a medium and a heavy spring on my reformer. I want it to be, we're going to do single feet and straps, side lying. I want it to be heavier than what you would normally do. We're keeping our shoulder blocks off. I'll start facing you. The strap in front of me goes onto my top foot, or my right foot. Because this is heavy, I want you to make sure that you are pretty set before you get going. So you're going to shift your back body to the back edge of the carriage, and then you're going to firmly pull on the strap. When you put your foot in, you have to firmly push with that strong leg. All right, from here, I want to make sure I'm not collapsing in my tailbone. Whoa, my hair's under there. And now what we're going to do is just bend and straighten your right leg. As I bend and straighten my right leg, I'm almost going to pretend like I don't have a foot or a knee, and that I'm just extending my leg from my glute. Foot stays parallel. I'm only bringing my knee into the 90 degree at my hip and then extending fully. My right foot stays right under my knee. If I were to bend and let my foot come behind my knee, you could see that that would be like doing a squat, taking my knee way over, or a lunge over my foot, which is bad for your knee joint. So keep your foot tracking with your knee, and you're just coming out and in. I'm lying on a yoga block. You could lie on your elbow. You could lie on a squishy ball. You could lie on your bicep, whatever feels comfortable for you. I want you to take a nice, slow, and steady pace on these. You should be starting to feel these if you weren't already. The next one, you're going to come in, bring your right leg to 90, so it should be right over your left knee. And then from here, we're just going to take little pulses. So I'm just pushing into my left sit bone, left glute, to barely push an inch and resist an inch. Push and resist. Push, resist, push, and resist. Hold. We're going into a hydrant here. I want you to hold the carriage still. Lift your knee and your foot and your leg. So your big, entirely heavy, strong leg. To keep the carriage from moving, I'm having to put a lot of pressure into my right strap. That's activating my right glute, just like when we were doing our lunges at the beginning of class. Good, we'll hold. And then I'm going to stir my entire leg. So I'm just drawing little circles with my knee. Good, we'll do about 4 to 5 in each direction. And then reverse. Good, you've got this. This is our final little push right here on this section. Make sure you're not going into fetal position on your spine. Sticking that tush out slightly behind you. Trying to fight for a neutral side lying. And then straighten your leg all the way and bend. Let it come to the stopper. Take the strap off of your foot. We'll take a quick stretch before we switch sides. So I like to just put my foot on the floor. If you prefer a figure 4 stretch lying on your back, by all means, take it wherever you'd like. I'm going to sit up, cross my right leg, which is the one I just worked, across my left. I like to sit up nice and tall, and I'm almost like opening my chest and feeling my right knee draw down towards the floor. I'm going to inhale. On my exhale, I'm going to take this whole flat back and hinge forward, feeling a deep stretch through my hip. I'm really going to send some breath into each space. As I exhale, I'll see if I can sink a little bit deeper. But I'm taking this really slow, very deliberate, kind of seeing what I feel, seeing what I can do. I then start to move my knee a little bit more. Good. And one last big breath. From here, I'm also going to stretch through my obliques. I'm taking that same leg, lady crossing it, putting my elbow against my knee. We're going to go both ways. Doesn't matter which way you go first. But I want you to keep your ribs on top of your pelvis. A lot of times we roll back for this. Sit up nice and tall. Back hand on the back edge of the reformer. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, rotate your rib cage. Still get taller. Pull those shoulders down. Inhale. And then exhale, twist a little bit more. Good. Your legs stay the same. Your upper torso switches. So now you're looking over your left shoulder. You're still stacked on top of your hips. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, rotate. And return. All right, you know what's coming. Lie onto your right side. Same spring. So now knowing what we just did on the other side, maybe it helps you get a little bit set up for success when you get when you're getting situated. Okay. However you get into this, making sure that your left glute is already nice and strong, engaged, and ready to hold the weight of the carriage, and then pull that right knee underneath you. I already feel myself go into a tuck, so I need to find my neutral, find a strong glute. And then out and in. Out and in. You need to be very careful about not letting your knee come into your chest like this. It feels so nice, I know, but we're not in that game today. We are in strengthening glute mode, so we're trying to keep tension through your spring for the entire motion. I'm sorry, I'm sliding all over the place. This second side is just a doozy. Good. Push and resist. Push and resist. Push and resist. I'm going to make my adjustments. You guys, I always say this. Don't ever get married to a place on the carriage. I can feel myself just not being set up for success. So I'm readjusting where my upper body is on the carriage. And it's hard with that much spring under you, but there we go. I feel so much better. And press. Sometimes it's even just your bottom leg underneath needs to be a little bit more wide and steady which is what that situation was for me. Good. Again, I'm just really thinking of no foot and knee here attached. It's only my booty. Good. 2 more. Good. And come in that part way. Left knee out from left hip and little presses, little inches. Good. No foot knee here. I'm really pushing with my glute. 3, 2, no fetal position, neutral spine, 2, 1, hold. Hydrant. Up and down. Up. Carriage is not moving because I'm pushing into the arch of my foot, which is helping my left glute stay super active here. My spine is long, pulling my head and tail apart the entire time. Hold and circle and circle and circle and circle. Good. My circles are feeling a little bit triangular. You've got about 4 to 5 in each direction. I just reversed. Pushing into that foot. Circling your knee. Last one. And straighten all the way. And release. Good. My sides feel totally different. I don't know about yours. But because my left side doesn't like to stabilize as well as my right side doesn't like to stabilize as well as my left, that left side work is really hard for me. All right, sit up, cross your ankle or take your figure 4 wherever you're going to. I'm leaning back here, sitting up nice and tall, taking a few deep, full breaths. And then I'm hinging forward with a flat back, starting to feel the stretch all the way through my left hip, glute. I T-band the whole kit and caboodle. I'm pressing my knee down very gently. I mean, these are very, very gentle moves. I'm not jamming my knee down. Good. And then exhale, hinging a little bit deeper. And one more time. I'm sending a lot of breath. Good. And then cross that leg all the way over. Sitting up nice and tall, ribs on top of hips, shoulders on top of ribs, head on in the center of all that. I'm going to press my left elbow in on the outside of my leg shape, and I'm going to rotate. I'm looking over my right shoulder. Inhale, grow a little taller. Exhale, twist a little deeper. And return. Opposite direction, right knee onto the knees, left hand behind. Inhale, get taller, and then exhale, rotate more without changing my hip. So I feel my right hip wanting to kind of pull up here, but instead I'm setting my sit bones into the mat so that I can lift and twist off of them. Great. Okay, for the finish line here, you don't need really anything new, and really you don't need anything. We're going to take our springs off. So knowing that your carriage without springs is very mobile, you're going to pay attention to that from the get-go. We're going to step back into the well where we began class. Push your reformer all the way to the stopper. And keep it there. Once you have it there, we're going to put your hands onto the stopper. Walk your feet back. Find a plank. The balls of my feet are on the floor, but I have a metal bar back there. So some of you might have like a wood part or the base of your reformer, or you might bring your feet up to a level of something. Try and find something back there. Okay. From here, I'm pushing firmly into the ground. So I know I'm connected to both my carriage and the back of my tower. And then I find a plank. Shoulders over wrists. In fact, I could move my hands a little bit closer, a little further away here. And now I'm just holding in this plank. I'm pushing the carriage to the stopper. And now I'm going to use my abdominals to draw up and in, and I'm going to pull the reformer in. And then I'm going to close with control. I want you to keep your heels lifted and active. That's going to help you prevent you from using momentum here. Good, so we're just piking to planking. Extending your neck long as you plank, and then dropping your head down as you pike. We'll do 2 more. Good. Next time you're out, hold the carriage out. Move your right hand into the center of the carriage. Right foot replaces where your right hand just was. You're pushing the carriage to the stopper. Right hand and foot stay down. Left foot connected to the back, and you're going to open and rotate your left hand up to the ceiling, so you're in a lunge. I want you to take some deep breaths here. Left hand now comes to the small of your back. We'll extend your right leg and bend back into your lunge. Extend your right leg and bend back into your lunge. So we're just stretching here. We've got a couple more. I really want you to focus on the length of your hamstring, length of your inner thigh as you straighten and bend. 1 more, and we'll come back to our plank. So I'm coming back to my lunge position. Left hand comes down. Right hand comes back to the outside, and my right leg steps back. All right, so I'm in my plank again. My low back is not dropping to the mat. My low belly is lifted up and in. We're going to roll into a ball shape. Bend your knees, pull your forehead in, and then back out. Bend your knees and back out. Curl and straighten. If this feels too easy, I want you to really focus on curling, being a little slower, less momentum. 2 more. Curl. Curl. Good. Push the carriage out and hold. Left hand comes into the center on the headrest. Left hand replaces left foot replaces left hand. And then rotate up with that right arm. Eyes go up towards the sky. Good. We're just holding in this lunge, rotating our spine, breathing, pushing the carriage into the stopper. Bring your right hand down, and then extend and bend. Extend and bend. Extend and bend. Just a couple more. My right side, when I was straightening and bending my right side, it was shaking, quivering. And this one doesn't feel as traumatized. Okay, back to the plank. Make sure you're stable in this plank, pushing the carriage to the stopper because you have no springs on. We're going to finish up with push-ups. Elbows go out to the side, push. Elbows go out towards the 45, push. Elbows go out to the 45 and push. You've got 2 more. 1 more. Come down and hold, part way. Hold, long line in that spine. Pulses down. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. You've got this. 3, 2, 1. Straighten those arms all the way. Hike your hips up, downward dog, and walk your feet in. Good. Take your hands off of the carriage. Hands come down to the floor. Big inhale. And start to exhale. Roll your spine up. I want you to find that pelvis curling under first. All of your lumbar spines stack on top of one another. Upper body's super heavy. Your waistline starts to stack up. Low rib cage, middle rib cage, upper rib cage, and finally your head right on top. You made it. The really hard, sweaty class. I should not have worn a sweatshirt. Hope you enjoyed.